Back here on Friday Night Live, presented by Atlanticare, 97.3 ESPN. Pleased to welcome in now head coach of the Harbor Township Eagles, the man himself, head coach Kevin Stetser. Coach, thank you for joining us this evening.
Hey, my pleasure, bud. Anytime.
All right, first we have to. I kind of want to dive into it real quick here because you guys are on a bye week this week. Tell me what it's like to go through this bye week preparation, knowing that there's no game this week, Friday or Saturday. You kind of have the week to work out the kinks, maybe try some new things, and basically you have 2 weeks of preparation for your next opponent.
Yeah, we do. And there's a couple of different ways you can handle it. Obviously we are preparing for our next opponent, but it also gives you a chance to kind of see what you've done to this point in the season. You have a good idea of the things you need to work on. And, like this week, we use it as an opportunity to kind of get back to that. On a typical week, you only have 2 padded practices, where you can really get after each other. So on the bye week, you actually you gain some time. And that's kind of what we do. We got back to some fundamentals, reviewed what we weren't doing right and had a physical week. It was good. We had a real good bye week practice. The whole week was. They can kind of go either way, and we were pretty happy with what the boys did.
Take me through these last 2 weeks. Obviously, some very tough losses. You guys could easily be 3-2 right now, but then again, if you play the what-if game, you guys could be 5-0 or 0-5. But these last 2 games, in particular, against Oakcrest and Washington Township, you guys had a lead last week. You guys almost came all the way back the week prior. What do you think it is right now? Do you guys are just not finishing in the end of the game, or is it just minuscule mistakes that can be easily corrected?
It's really been a little bit. Some games have been our start. Some games have been our finish. And really, it's a matter for us. And I know it's not coaching cliche, but it's a matter of all 3 phases, all 4 quarters. There's times where we played really well. But we're in these games to win them, not just have a good showing. And that's kind of what our story's been. We're with these kids battle. They play hard. They're a real good group of young men. And I think a big part of it is learning to win. Understanding when you're ahead, that's an opportunity to put a team away. Not just hold on. And then you got to start fast so you're not playing catch up. And we really some games we started well, some games we finished well, and it really is a matter of coming out and playing full 4 quarters, all 3 phases.
With these next couple of games coming up, you have 2 at home, and then you have the 1 game on the road at FCA. This is before, obviously, the Thanksgiving matchup with Mainland Regional. But there's some winnable games on the schedule here, and you guys could take advantage, at least of the next 2 games at home. I know the coach's speak is gonna say, 1 game at a time, 1 game at a time. But do you feel that you guys could, finish the season on a high note? I know you guys had a rough season last year, but it seems like you guys could get back to 500 for the first time in a while.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Yeah, you do take it a game at a time, but you also have a long view of things, and you got to look at it that way, especially where we've been. We're trying to build something here that's going to last. I'll be honest, it's taken us a little longer than any of us had hoped. But even last year, we struggled early. We opened up with 3 of the top teams in South Jersey, and then, we battled some really good teams and ended up finishing last year with 2 wins. I think that kind of carried us into the first game. We came out, won our home opener. But we do look at it both ways. Obviously, you got to deal with the opponent in front of you, but we do, feel as a group that these boys deserve more wins. They're playing hard. They're working hard in practice. Where their attitudes have been good. They stick together, and we do feel as though we have an opportunity to get some here, but. We got to go out and do it. And that, again, it's not Coach speak because it's true. We got to deal with who comes next. And we don't look ahead to anybody, but we feel as though if we can come out, continue to improve, we can finish the season strong again. And that's really important for us.
We're talking with Harbor Township Eagles football head coach Kevin Stetser. Ever since I've known you, since even back in the days when you actually coached me a handful of years ago, you've put a lot of emphasis on the culture of the program, and that was one of your big things when you took over as head coach a couple of years ago. Obviously, you had the strong start in your first year, but the last couple of years it was more about building the culture and shaping the team in your vision. Do you feel like you've done that since last season, and now you guys are headed in the right direction culture-wise, and ultimately I would think that would lead to even more successful seasons and getting back to the postseason?
I do feel that. We have, even staff-wise, we had some changeover after the first couple years. This staff's been together, so we're all pulling in the same direction. Everybody has the same vision, and it is. Culture is a big thing, and that's not coach speak or cliche either. We feel that if you're making better people, that they're going to be more coachable. They're going to be able to apply what they're learning in practice more to the field, and it is, because the reality of it is ultimately that's what we're doing. We're coaching and we're teaching young men. I know the impact that my high school coaches had on me, and I'll speak honestly, I wasn't the easiest high school player to coach. But I know they stuck to their guns and they said, this is the way we're going to do it. And ultimately, many moons ago, we won a sectional title because of it. And that's very important to me. Being back home, wanting to do right by Harbor Township kids, wanting to do right by this town. My community means a lot to me. It really does. That's one of the big reasons why I'm back here trying to do it. And, ultimately, again, what type of person they are is going to lead to what type of player they are, what type of work ethic they have. And I think it's been showing up in the amount of kids we've been able to get into college despite what our wins and losses were. Last year we had a Division I and a Division II scholarship. I mean, you look around, a lot of other schools didn't do that. We have 6 kids from last year's team going on to play college football. That's the things that, by shaping these young men, they got to follow our rules. That's been a tough pill for some of them to swallow. We're not going to waver. We expect you to be at practice. If you're not at practice, you're not going to play. If you're not doing the right things in the classroom, we can't trust you. So that's going to affect you. And we do. We approach it as the whole person, and I think ultimately that's what our job is. And we also believe that's what's going to ultimately get us wins. It's going to sustain. We want to be a program that, wins, and then on our down years, we're around 500, not where we kind of climb to the mountaintop and fall off for several years, and that's not what we're looking for. So it's taken us some time, but we believe in what we're doing. And I think this year's group ultimately is going to show that.
Wanted to switch topics real quick, and speaking of changes, this whole new playoff format, I know it's it's probably aggravated a lot of coaches. Nobody really knows what's going on. Obviously, you got the PowerPoints. You have this new Billborn Power Index that weighs 60% of it. I'm looking at the standings right now. I mean, it's really interesting because I know they're kind of, I would say, super groups at the moment because they combined the Central and South groups this year before the playoffs. So right now, just based on where you guys are, it's interesting because you're 1-4, but yet like a winless team like Atlantic City or a winless Cherokee team, they're in front of you right now based on, I guess, the Born Index and the PowerPoints. I mean, there's just so much to it. What do you make of this whole new system? And do you think it's kind of weird the fact that it's actually not been revealed, at least to the coaches of all these football teams?
Yeah, and I'm just going to speak honestly. I mean, I'm like you said, I'm not sure I can tell you exactly how it works. But I know this: if you come out and you win games, you're going to get in. As far as, and I've seen some of that, as far as the strength of schedule or exactly how it's calculated and those types of things. But in all honesty, I feel like if you're a team that's going to get in the playoffs and you deserve to be in the playoffs, you're going to win enough games too. And that's just really how we slice it. I couldn't tell you exactly how it works, but I do know if you come out and you play well enough on Friday nights and Saturday, afternoons during the season, that you're going to get in, and that's, but, I guess we'll kind of see how it pans out at the end of the year to see who gets in with what records and exactly how it plays out. But, again, if I feel like regardless of what the rules or circumstances are, if you're taking care of your business on game day, if you deserve to be in, you should get in. Now, ultimately, we'll see at the end of this year when we'll see who gets in with what records.
One last thing for you, Coach. The EHT Mainland rivalry dates back a very long time. It's one of the best in South Jersey. Obviously, I don't want to say it has lost some steam in recent years, but usually when both teams are in the postseason each and every season, then there's obviously a little bit more weight to it. With the schedule changes and now Thanksgiving being the last game post the sectional finals now, And we're kind of with the reemergence of Mainland this year, and you guys coming back up on the upswing a bit now, and starting to get back to where you guys were as a program a handful of years ago. I mean, do you think this rivalry has a chance to once again be the top one on the map for all these Thanksgiving matchups?
I mean, to us it is, and I know to them it is. But yeah, you're correct in that. The last couple of years, both of us have come in, kind of on the downswing. We've had some pretty good games, and I know for us personally last year was big to finish strong. But I feel like if both teams are taking care of their business, Mainland's been a storied program for many, many years, and it's always big for us to beat them. I mean, it is. There's no doubt about it. That's a huge game for us. It was a huge game for us last year. The kids get excited about it. The town gets excited about it. And, I do. I feel like if both of us are coming in where ultimately we want to be, it is a big-time rivalry, and it is a game that people want to see. And like I said, I know they're fighting like heck over there to get to where they need to be, and we're doing the same. And I feel like when, we meet up this year, it should be a good game. I think we're both headed in the right direction. And then when you play each other the last game of the season, you should be playing your best football. So, and then, and obviously having played in the rivalry, it's personally, it's a big thing. It's a big deal. It's really the one game where, everybody's invested in the town, whether or not they're a football fan or not. And it's cool. It's great. I love it. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Thursday, Thanksgiving Day games. I know we'll be playing on Wednesday night this year, but it's huge. People are back in town and the kids love it. And it's, it just has a different kind of feel to it for sure.
Well, don't you worry. I'll be out there on that Wednesday night. I'll take off my journalism cap and I'll be sure to wave my arms on the HT sideline for you.
Oh, I know you will, bud. I know you will. I know where you're from.
Yeah, I know. Of course. Coach, want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope to talk to you again soon. And obviously, good luck next week and the rest of the way. Hopefully, we'll catch up again by the time Thanksgiving rolls around.
Hey, no problem, Nick. And listen, man, I just want to let you know, man, you're doing a heck of a job. We're all proud as heck of you. And, keep doing your thing and doing great things for high school football in the area, man. So keep it up, bud.
Nah, I appreciate it, Coach. Thanks very much.
All right, kid. I'll talk to you later, bro.
All right, Coach. That was head coach Kevin Stetser of Egg Harbor Township Football. They have a bye week this week. You can catch them next week. They'll be hosting Cherry Hill East on the 12th. They'll host Bridgeton the week after that. They'll be at Apsagami to round out the year, see if they can get back to 4-4, 500 football. And then, of course, the great Thanksgiving rivalry game at Mainland. It's on a Wednesday night this year at Mainland Regional.